Hello and welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Animals and Pets with Partha. Today I am coming back after a while live again. And the subject of today is fake breeders. What does it mean and how does it happen? Actually, we have seen or we know that most of the pedigrees that we get in India, which the dogs are identified with a microchip and a piece of paper and sold at a very high price, and most of the time they're sold at a premium price at 3 or 4 or 5 times the price in the black market. How does it all happen? Who are the breeders and how does the dogs come and from where they're sold? Actually, in the era of digital marketing, people believe that they can buy a dog by the press of a button, and that is what has been happening. So the most modest breeders around in other countries, take for example Australia, New Zealand and others, who are actually the hobbyists, the passionate breeders, they breed very little, and whatever little they breed, they would ensure that they have sort of people to take. More or less, the best dogs go to the show homes and the not so good ones go to pet homes. And but in a country like India, where the people are all empowered, if you say 30-40% of the people are rich and getting richer day by day, everyone wants a dog. 1 dog, 2 dogs, 4 dogs, 5 dogs. How many dogs do you have? 10 dogs, 20 dogs, 25 dogs. This is what you get an answer from the rich and the new rich. So how do they buy their dogs? They buy it from dealers. And a lot of these dealers pose as breeders. All the papers that you get, they will see that bred by that person who is selling the dog to you. So how does he get all this? Now the breeders, the modest breeders who are actually breeding them for money, who are actually breeding them for subsistence, to earn a living. Most of these breeders are outside the city. Let us take for example Bengal, Calcutta. We have been a city and a state where most of the pedigreed dogs have been bred over the decades, as long as I can remember from my little childhood. I have seen that most of the breeding was done from here, and in earlier days when the air freight was very less, there would be hundreds and hundreds of dogs that would be flying from Calcutta airport to various parts of this country. And no one really bothered to breed in other states because it was so cheaply available in the city of Calcutta. But then at that time, the digital world never came into being in such a big way. What used to happen was dealers were there. They used to phone dealers here, and the dealers would immediately on the next flight put the dog up. So that's how the transactions went. But situation has come that now it's digital marketing. It's no more restricted to pet shops and pet dealers alone. It is pet dealers plus a variety of people who just have websites, and they have other marketing tools. They have Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. So they collect their dogs from the outskirts of the city, villages. In the villages there are plenty of puppy mills, and these puppy mills are breeding those puppies with the intention to sell them, and some of them do of course good breeding. They try to do as best as possible. Then the bigger dealers, dealers who want to maintain a sort of a reputation, and they forge the papers. So these dealers have bunches of papers with microchip numbers and everything what is there, because it's all interrelated to the syndicate and its sycophants who are actually marketing these papers at huge costs. And what is happening is they make they register a litter. Say, there are some common breeds like Labradors, Golden Retrievers, Beagles, German Shepherds, Dobermans, And so, so they have a fair idea as to how many Dobermans they have sold over 3 months. So they get all that together and register a litter of 10 puppies or 8 puppies or 12 puppies. Maybe 1 or 2 extras also are there. So they're all large litters. And the registered breeder is the seller. So it's a collection of puppies. It's not from one breeder that is selling 8 dogs. It's from 3-4 breeders that is collected all these dogs and sold to people. But then the papers have a certain date. Here is the cut-off mark. So when they register, the papers, the date of birth in the papers will not match the actual puppy's age. And so once the papers come, because these are the people who, some people really want papers. It doesn't matter if it's fake. They also know it's fake. So, and then the premium is, say, the usual price of a puppy in villages where they're bred in puppy mills are say 10, 15,000, maybe 20,000, according to the demand and supply. The economics of scale, that's what you say. So it's say golden retrievers maybe a little more expensive than a Labrador. Labrador being the most common would be the cheapest. Then you would get the Spades, that would be cheap. Then the smaller you go in the size to Pomeranians, they'll be more expensive. And then Pomeranian papers, of course, are very expensive because very few people have registered Pomeranians in their names. So that's how the business. So what is happening, that we have this microchip that has been brought about with the intention to loot the people of this dog game, and which rightly served this purpose. So actually, another statistics that I would like to tell you, that say if you really did honestly register the dogs as they say, write in magazine or whatever, that litter check and whatever that they conduct, but mostly, at least in this city, and I can tell you, there's thousands and thousands of puppies. There are no litter checks. And what is happening is, there are certain people. Now, if you really do litter checks, there may be 100 litters. Say, for example, 100 litters. So 100 litters would register, say, 1,000 puppies. But if you just register from the people, that syndicate has marked, the breeders that have that are in connivance with this group of people who are actually selling these registrations, then you can register 2,000, not 1,000, because it is all these dogs, all of them do not have, they may have pedigrees, but they're lost on the way, and the breeders are just breeding them, and they're hassle-free. They just hand over the dogs to the dealers, and dealers are making their own pedigrees. They're happy, and if you give them a good puppy, they will be even more happy. Means good puppy means a healthy puppy. I wouldn't say show quality puppy or things like that. They're all pet quality puppies, but then they have all great pedigrees, fantastic pedigrees. There are hundreds and hundreds of dogs that are being imported, and papers are go at a premium, because dog importation is illegal to this country, is banned. So, but still they come in smuggled every day through Bengal, the porous borders of Bangladesh, Nepal, the huge borders that are shared with the Bengal. The dogs, once they come into this city or this state, immediately they become Indian citizens, means Indian dogs. But that doesn't matter. Then what happens? There is a syndicate who marks them as imported. This is also not done with the sort of understanding with the government. But this, because the government doesn't take heed or doesn't really bother, they think there are only a few dogs that are being imported, or there's crores and crores of rupees of all types of animals, birds, dogs that are filtering into this state and then going all over the country. So all these papers of these imported dogs are very important. The dog may have died, but doesn't matter. But in the paper they live on. There is a 3-country, 4-country champion, whatever they may have imported, and so the paper is used for generating more and more puppy papers, litter registrations, and all that, whatever you call. So this is the racket. So the paper thing except for top class breeders. Really top class breeders, and those breeders nowadays are becoming scarce and they are expensive. When they sell their best puppies, they expect a huge price. But then what happens? If you're not going for a show, it really doesn't matter. So I would suggest get hold of an expert or learn how to go about buying a dog. Papers are actually fake papers. If you're still interested to have the fake papers, if you think that is going to do, you buy a bad dog and put a fantastic paper, the quality of the dog doesn't improve, or it means nothing actually. No one really, nowadays it's an open secret that the papers, most of the papers are actually fake. So this is the fake breeder. There are breeders who are living in apartments, never kept a bitch in their life, but on paper they own hundreds of bitches, and that's how the paper is being generated and keep on circulating in the Indian dog market. With this, I close. Please subscribe to my channel. Please press the red bell button for more episodes that will come immediately in a short while, and I will keep informing you about what is going on in the animal world and the dog world. So more interesting news is all around the corner. Bye bye and see you again soon.